I came to know Dottie. She come to a show here at the Art Space, and I even remember we were standing just right over there, and Glenn Patterson said, so it might have been Miracle on 34th Street, because I think it was the first show he had done since it had been a while. And he said, you need to meet Dottie Havlik. And so he introduced us, and she had shared all of the work she had done for many years on the board of directors here and in shows. And we were working on building the board at the time. And I thought, well, she's got some theater experience and board experience. And after some time, we asked her to come on the board. And so we served on the board together for several years. And then now she remains on the board, and I'm the executive director. So we've spent a lot of time working together on projects. Dottie's she's really tremendous in her willingness to try all kinds of things. I think that her role has helped us to continue to build our sustainability as an organization. Several years ago, Tom Hanlon and I were talking about how could we involve Rivers Way? So that became a really special way Dottie got involved. And we said, Dottie, do you think this could be something that you might work on and building this show with Rivers Way? So she wrote shows, and she would meet with the folks and have them audition, if you will. And really it was so that she could learn who they were and kind of what their strengths and interests were. And so she would write these shows with everyone in mind. So that very first year it was called, she goes, I don't know what to call it. She said, we'll call it 3x3. And so next thing you know, I'm promoting a show called 3x3. I don't even know what to do with it. And everybody loved it. It was a hit. Standing room only, standing ovations. It was just, people were like, what is this? This is tremendous. And then over the years, she wrote Lessons from Shakespeare, How Not to Have a Tragedy. And she said, well, I don't know what to call it. And I said, call it that. We kept laughing about it over the years. It was fantastic. Then we did Cinderella, Robin Hood, and the Seven Dwarfs. And all the Seven Dwarfs, we literally had 7 dwarfs, and they were all over 6 feet tall. And that's Dottie's humor, and she really is an excellent scriptwriter. Like all the transitions, like you just appreciate all she's doing, whether it was for any kind of group working. And a key part of the shows were that Theatre Bristol kind of veteran actors would also be a part of the show. And so it wasn't kind of a pairing like they do with the MTI Penguin Project, but really, truly integrated cast to such a point that in recent years it's been possible to say, well, we do a Theatre Bristol cast and a Rivers Way cast. It's not like that anymore. It's all one cast. Some of the Rivers Way folks are some of our most veteran actors, and they're very good. But she's also directed several shows here, like Junie B. Jones and The Adventures of Madeline, which was a show that didn't exist that we discovered and got the rights to, and she said, yeah, I'll take that chance. Recently, another thing that she helped us do during, kind of looking at that sustainability, how are we going to keep our name out there? Because that was the key thing during the pandemic kind of shutdown was we've got to not let people think we've disappeared. And we decided to do these radio dramas. And many years ago, Dottie was part of this group with Mary Beth Renero and Rick McVeigh and others. And they started what was called Don't Touch That Dial. And they wrote scripts, and I think Dottie wrote some of those. I know she was definitely involved in the performance of those scripts. And we dug out those scripts and said, we're gonna do these. And so the first one we did was War of the Worlds, and Dottie said, yeah, I'll direct it. And so it was really neat having her kind of launch that. We changed the name because of that branding issue, we wanted people to know Theatre Bristol's alive, so we called it Theatre Bristol On Air. And then we use the modern technology of the podcast system. So we put it on, Apple, on Google Play, on every podcast format we could. And we edited them post-production. So Camille Gray did all the editing, all the sound engineer work. And Dottie was great to direct that. Then she directed Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And we were amazed to have at least probably 100 people show up at the park during Halloween to see that show. And Dottie just had such a vision for it, and it was spectacular, and people are still listening to the podcast of it. So that's another thing that she really did that was critical to help our sustainability kind of laying the template for herself and other directors who would come along. So she's very adventurous in what she does with us. And then ropes Robert Havlik in, and that's very important because I think she would agree that a lot of what she does is because of the wonderful support she has from her husband. I mean, her daughter did choreography for shows. She loves to share about that. I think she really enjoyed having her grandson in a show that she directed. That's special because theater, it takes a lot of time. It's a lot of hours. Having her husband finally get on stage in a speaking role when she directed Miracle on 34th Street, she was very happy about that. So I think it would be her family and getting to do this with her family.
Have I got your attention now? I'm Dottie Havlik, and I'm a pretender. I have been in theater since I was 4. They had let me do a skit in my nursery school. They call it a nursery school then, not a preschool. And I had to do it with a kid named Walter instead of my crush at the time, Keith Rogers Ferguson. And I still remember his name. I don't ever know what happened to him, but there he is. And they clapped for me, and I got to be somebody that I wasn't. Because I was a real shy little girl, and I'm still a real shy old girl. And but I got to do something, and I got to dance ball in the jack. And I get to do all this stuff that I never got to do, at home. I did not come from an artistic family. And so I just embraced whenever I got the chance. I was in choir in elementary school, and I took drama starting in what then was junior high, and went into and when I got to community college, I did some more drama, and it was just kind of I got to be somebody else. And it was wonderful because back then we were not wealthy people, and we just kind of did it. My stepdad worked at a petroleum plant that one of them just caught fire here last week. And so it opened up a whole new world for me to be able to just a kid from Pasadena, Texas, called it Stinkadena because it was down there with all the petroleum plants and stuff. And I got to do wonderful things and be wonderful people. So it kind of fell by the wayside because I didn't know you could make a living unless you went to Broadway or something, being in the theater. So I became a journalist. And I was a feature editor, and I was a copy editor, and I did all the things with that. And when we moved to Bristol, it never even occurred to me to come and be in a show. But my daughter, who is now Kate Rush, and you may know her from Barlow Gin and the Hatchet Men and other things that she's done in the community in a band. Well, she did shows at Theater Bristol. And they were so nice, and they were excellent quality of shows. And I thought, well, wow, maybe I could do that. So in 1996, I auditioned for The Music Man, and I got a part, and we musicked, and we did great stuff. And then I kind of got sidetracked, and I was Charlotte in Charlotte's Web. And I came out on stage in my black hood and my black tights. I was thinner then, and lots of arms and legs. And somebody from my church was there, some little person, and I hear as I came out on the stage, "Look, it's Miss Dottie." And I thought, what about this black mini-legged get-up reminds that child of me? But anyway, I took a while back, and then I came back again, and did things, and then Theater Bristol closed for a while. And when I came back, here was this wonderful person named Samantha Gray. And she is just one of those people that she looks so demure and so put together. She is a tiger. Don't ever cross her, because she gets what she wants. And she is a wonderful person, and she held Theater Bristol together for many years and still doing it. So when she did, she says, would somebody like to do this thing with Rivers Way? And for those of you who don't know Rivers Way is a program for what they call it now, differently abled teens and young adults. And so I said, sure, I thought that would be fun. But nobody was doing anything like that, not the way I envisioned it, where they would be a part of the show. They would have lines, they would do. And so we couldn't find any groups that were doing that. We tried to get the publishing companies to let us do altered versions for special needs people, and they wouldn't let us do it. So I said, well, I can do that. I'll just write one. And we, ever since, we just write them, and they tell me, and we do. We have auditions because we have new people each year, and we see what we can do, and we fit everybody, and then I go back and tweak what I've written so that it can fit all those people, and it is so wonderful. You just wouldn't imagine how these kids have grown in their confidence and in their abilities to do things. And each year we make it a little harder. So we do some tongue twisters, and we learn some music, and we do this, so that each year we get a little more skilled and a little more skilled and a little more skilled. And it is the beautiful thing. The first year we did it, a lady came up to me crying. She said one of those young people was in her special education class, and she'd been teaching special education for 20 years, and she had never seen a transformation like happened with this student, because he had grown so much in confidence, and he's still doing it, and he's one of our best actors, and he has a comic timing you just wouldn't believe. It's wonderful. So it's just such a privilege to be able to do this kind of work and to do it. And I see other people reaching out in the community now. I'm president of Family Promise of Bristol, and we have a day center for unhoused people downtown at the Salvation Army. And people that I know have come and helped. Pat and Beth Flanagan came and sang Christmas hymns with the folks, and other people have come and done Bible studies or other things. Symphony of the Mountains had a symposium on unhoused and the homeless population, and a concert. And we all came for free. All of our folks from the street came and saw this stuff. This is what the arts can do to people. The arts can transform lives. The arts can show us what we feel that we didn't even know we felt. The arts can open doors that would remain closed otherwise. And so it is a calling, I think, for some of us to come and do these things, to open doors for other people and to enable people to do these wonderful things. And so that's why I would like to say to you, I'm preaching to the choir here, but, I'm a Presbyterian, and so we always say we're going to, go out and baptize and stuff. And what I want you to do is think when you talk to everybody, anybody, young people especially. Nobody told me at Deer Park High School in Texas that I could go out and write plays or that I could be an executive director of a theater. Nobody told me this. I want you to go out and I want you to tell people, tell them they could have a career in the arts. They can be an artist. They can do this stuff, and it's not that difficult. It is a wonderful experience. You can write all kinds of wonderful songs and things like my friend Ann Holler. You just go out and do it. And I want you to tell them, I want you to go out this week and tell somebody they can make a difference. They can turn somebody on to the arts. And thank you very much for this. I thank all of you who I see friends throughout the room who have made such a difference in this community. And of course, my husband, Robert, who actually gets out on stage with his Texas accent and does stuff, and my son, John, who helps build sets, and my daughter, Kate, who was in a band, and my son, Patrick, who has departed from. He did do Theater Bristol as a child, but now he's a therapeutic geneticist, so we don't count him. But go out, tell, talk, give people confidence that they can do creative things. Thank you.